Are the robots capable of what we think they're capable of in this instance?
I think to a certain extent, people have certain expectations of robots, and they can do a lot of the job that they're going to be tasked with. But that will be once we narrow down the search area to try and find the missing plane.
Is one of the problems the depth of the Indian Ocean?
I think depth we can deal with, but it's the size of the search area that's going to be the real challenge.
Let's assume that they locate an area of suspicion. How difficult is it then to hone that down to a single black box which is losing its beat every day?
So if they can get in there and find the area before the black box stops pinging, the search problem becomes much easier because they can go in, they can listen for the box and find it. Once it stops beeping, then they have to go and search for it and look for the wreckage of the plane over the possibly hilly terrain that you might find it 2 or 3 kilometers down.
Let's come back to the black box in a moment. If they can't get the bleep coming, or the bip or the ping as we call it, coming from the black box, they then have to send down a remote robot that then is sending pictures back to the surface. So you're waiting for a positive identification of a thing this size.
Well, there's a couple of ways they could do it. They can tow sonar systems, so on the ships, depending on the water depth, and then you get the information back in real time. But with some of the autonomous vehicles that might go down, you'd put them in the water, you would get some of that data back, but a lot of it would be recovered once the vehicle's back on deck. And you'd be really looking not just for the black box, but evidence of the wreckage as a whole. So there would be some signature, something they would look for in the sonar.
Even so, it is still very much a needle in a haystack, isn't it?
Very much so. And I heard a week or two ago now, even one of the defense guys involved in the search suggesting that we don't even know which haystack to look in yet. So I think it's a challenging problem.
How long would it be, do you think, between locating a ping back from the surface of that black box and recovering it? Because it's one thing to know where it is, it's another to actually get it to the surface.
So once they have a precise location, then they'll be able to get remotely operated vehicles in, and they can do a good job of doing the recovery.
And do we have those on site now, readily available?
I don't believe so, but there are plenty of those sorts of assets in the area. It's more the search that is a challenge, and we saw some vision earlier of some of the tools that are being brought in to search for the vehicle or the plane.
That expertise, is it only available to countries like the US, or does Australia have some capability in that area?
Australia has some capability in these remote sort of robotic systems. The autonomous underwater vehicles that will be used, we don't have current capacity to go to the depths that they're going to be searching now. And to give you a sense of comparison, the French flight that went down a few years ago off the coast of South America, they knew approximately where the plane went down, and it still took them 2 years to actually locate the wreckage and the black box. And so we could be in for a fairly long period of time.
You wouldn't be surprised if it took easily as long this time round?
Yeah, because we have much less of an idea of where the plane has actually gone down. So the search area from the start becomes much bigger.
Professor Stefan Williams, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.